I'll be showing you how to make an engine that detects on Scratch if you have turbo mode on or off. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry that I didn't upload for quite a long time. Yeah, and so this is the first video that I'm making that's about Scratch. Most of my other videos are about like games and stuff like Minecraft and PVZ. But I decided that I was going to make a video about Scratch because I found it really interesting, and I hope you do too. Okay, anyway, back to the video. So we have this engine that detects if turbo mode is on or if it's off. And that's really important because you can't just tell the player like you can't just tell the player like in the credits that they have to turn turbo mode on or off because they might just not listen, and that's not good. Because in mostly idle games, it's very important because you can cheat using turbo mode by making everything go faster and making the game pretty much just give you infinite like stuff. But but on the other hand, there's also games where you want turbo mode. Like like games that generate terrain where it'll take forever to generate the terrain if you don't have it in turbo mode. Or like games where it generates the player in a 3D model where like the world or the player. Anything that's like big like has a lot of stuff to generate, like a 3D, you're generally gonna want it to be in turbo mode. And if the player doesn't play in turbo mode, then it'll be a bad experience for them. And you don't want that. So you can use these engines to test if the player's in turbo mode and stop them if they're not or if they are. Okay, so now let's get into the engine. So I made this very simple engine here. It's I've seen a lot of engines on Scratch that use like a lot of code for this, but I figured out a way to do it like quite easily. So I'm going to show you now. So now we're going to click the green flag, and it should look like this where it's set where there's this guy saying turn on turbo mode. Because he knows that your turbo mode is off because of the engine, because it works. So now if you turn turbo mode on the other hand, now he's telling you good job. So now we know that it works. It checks if you have turbo mode on or if you have it off. So now also if you turn it off when it's on, then it'll then he can detect it. The only slight problem is when you turn turbo mode off, it takes like half a second to detect it. But that shouldn't be that much because it's only a fraction of a second. So the code is pretty simple. It's really just this, and this is the main chunk of code, and it's pretty simple. So now this is I'm just gonna explain all the code. You can pause the video and copy the code. You can pause the video and copy the code while I'm explaining it. So this is this is the stuff that tells you when to check for turbo mode. You can I put it in a forever loop, but you use it anyway. So when this is clicked, it just goes to 0, 0. That part doesn't really matter. And then forever, it checks for turbo mode. So the check for turbo mode block is actually a custom block I made. And if you don't know how custom blocks work, then uh you see all these. There's this pink one here called My Blocks. If you click on that, then it shows this, and if you click Make a Block, then you can make your own custom block. But oh no. Okay. Yeah, don't do that. And now we have this. This is the main chunk of code. but it's pretty simple. This forever loop, you don't need that forever loop. You should probably not use that forever loop actually, because it's already in a forever loop. So, now this is the code that it means by check for turbo mode. So, what it does is, first it sets the timer, as in it sets the timer to 0, and then it counts the seconds. So, now after that, it's a repeat 10, turn 1 degrees. So basically, it turns 1 degrees 10 times. So the reason we're using that is because generally if you're not in turbo mode, it should take like 0.3 to 0.4 seconds for Scratch to do that. But if you are in turbo mode, because turbo mode is crazy fast, then instead of doing that, it's actually going to do it in like 0.02 seconds, which is kind of crazy compared to regular Scratch. So now we have an if then block over here saying if the timer, because we set the timer here, so by now it checks what the timer is. So if the timer is less than 0.2, which is 0.2 seconds, which is really fast and only turbo mode can achieve that speed, then it switches the backdrop to turbo. But if it's not, which is the normal speed, then it switches the backdrop to no turbo. Now, if you go to stage, this is the costume for no turbo, and this is the costume for turbo. The stage doesn't need any code because in the check for turbo, we already have the thing that sets. And as you can see, oh no. It's actually pretty useful and pretty fast. Wait, what? Oh, I forgot to. Oh yeah, what? Yeah, I forgot. I forgot to click on the green flag. Sorry. As you can see, uh, it's pretty fast and yeah. Anyway, uh, make sure to like and subscribe and thank you for watching.